Knight check shadow, in German Springer Schach, Schatten. The king is in the knight check shadow if it is 2 squares diagonally away from an enemy knight, like here white's king on e6 and black's knight on c4. Then the knight needs at least 3 moves to give check, and this is the reason for the name of this domination distance, and it is often used to restrict an enemy knight. Here the knight c4 is restricted in the northeastern direction. It cannot go to d6 or e5. And this knight geometry is very important, especially here in the endgame rook against knight, but also from the opening. Starting from the opening, always important to watch carefully the knights and restrict the enemy knights if possible. Here in Karpov Tajnik, Thessaloniki Olympiad 1988, Karpov managed with white to win. The pawnless endgame is usually a draw if the knight can join the defending king. Only if the knight is on g2 or h1 or one of the similar squares in the other corners, then the rook nevertheless has often very good winning chances. Otherwise, if the knight can join the king and is not lost directly, then it's a draw. And if a knight and king can be permanently separated, then the rook usually wins by using domination and restriction techniques and distances. Karpov starts with rook f3 check. If the king goes to the second rank, then the knight is hunted like this. Knight e2 is not possible as pinned and lost. And here the king goes to the Karpov distance. This domination distance might be called like this because Anatoly Karpov has earned a part of his living by dominating enemy knights. And so I think in his honor, this domination distance, the knight cannot move eastwards. And northeast and southeast, the moves go to the knight check shadows. So this also is a very good domination distance. Variation by Karpov in the informant. So if Tajik played king g4, then rook d3 is restricting the knight in the southeastern directions and threatening rook d4 check. So Lumiev Tajik parried the threat, and then the hunt continued. It's always good that white's king separates king and knight so that they can never join, and then the rook usually wins, like here. Yeah, these configurations don't have special names. They are not so special in a way. And of course now again, knight check shadow. The knight is dominated in the southeastern direction. The king separates king and knight, and yeah, now the end is near. And finally, of course, Anatoly Karpov went with his king to the Karpov distance, restricting the knight in the eastern directions, another domination distance. And then the knight b5 is not possible due to rook d5 check. The rook takes the square next and then wins the knight, so Tajik resigned. And of course, Karpov distance will have its own video clip, and both are special cases of domination distances. An important technique to restrict enemy pieces, especially knights. They have the special movement and geometry and so on, and if you make yourself familiar with it, it helps a lot. So let me repeat. Knight check shadow, in German Springer Schatten, is when the king is 2 squares away diagonally from an enemy knight. It's a domination distance. The knight is then dominated in that direction where the king is and needs at least 3 moves to give a check.